Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. You're watching Learn Tech with Sandip Das, and in this session today we are going to learn about Kubernetes plugin development. So let's get started. Okay, so let's understand about what exactly is this Kubernetes plugin development. So Kubernetes plugins allow you to extend the Kubernetes capabilities. Okay, like how? By adding the new feature or integrating with the newer any other services, to be honest. Okay, now there are two type of Kubernetes plugins that are available. The first one is the kubectl plugins. Okay, and what are these? So these are the extensions for the kubectl command line tool, and they can be standalone executables that kubectl can recognize and execute as if they are the part of the native commands. Okay, and the second one, that is the API server plugins. Okay, and this can extend the Kubernetes API server by registering the new APIs or by providing webhooks for intercepting the request. Now, for today's tutorial, we will learn about how to develop the kubectl plugins. Okay, so let's get started with that. Now, before starting the actual development, what you have to do? We have to set up the development environment first. Okay, and what are the things required to make our setup or computer ready for this development? First thing, of course, you should have the latest version of Go installed, and the second one is the Docker installation, because for my example I'm using Docker for running the Minikube and also running the some development of the images. Okay, then of course the Minikube, I just told you, you need the standalone or say kind of a mini version of Kubernetes, so that you don't need an actual virtual server or any other virtualization tool. You can just run Minikube to run the Kubernetes inside it, and you can experiment with it. Okay, it's very easy that way. And of course the final one is the kubectl command line tool, which is, if you're using the Minikube, you have the tool already there. Okay, but if you're actually working with the other Kubernetes or say like actual Kubernetes cluster, then you must have the kubectl command line tool installed. Okay, now to install Go, just go to Google and search about Go installation. Okay, Go install, and you will get the official link, and you can just based on your OS, Linux, Mac, and Windows, you can install your GoLang binary. Okay, and the next one is the Docker. So search Docker installation, and you will go to the C install Docker engine. You can install that, or you can go for this one. Okay, so Docker desktop or Linux for Mac and for Windows. I will prefer go with the, for development purposes, go with the based on your OS, then the desktop version. Okay, that will be easier option. And finally, to install Minikube, just go to Google, search about Minikube install. Okay, and we'll come to this page. Then there you just see the installations, this particular first step. Then based on your operating system, choose it. Then whatever uses CPU architecture, could be 8664 or could be ARM64. For Mac, M1 chip and M1 and above chip, go with the ARM64. Otherwise, basically most of the cases you'll go with the 86. Okay, release type, stable version should go with. Then installer type, binary. If you're non-Mac, go with the binary. If you're Mac based, then go with the homebrew. Okay, because this all you want for the local development setup. Then after you're done with the installation, start the cluster using the Minikube start, and after this you start run this command Minikube kubectl get pro. So all the pods will list it to you. Okay, and since you will be developing using the kubectl, using the Minikube kubectl, you can set a alias, that is kubectl Minikube kubectl, this one. Okay, and that's it, you have this. And after doing all that, you just have this Minikube dashboard, and if you do that, you will have a dashboard like this. I already run it. I am running a simple Nginx also, that's why it's showing here. I'll show you, like I also have included that simple Nginx file also, so we can run it and can show you. Now this is all you have to set up the basic development setup in your system. The next thing you have to do is actually the actual Kubernetes plugin development. Now all these are like Minikube and all these are optional. If you have an actual Kubernetes cluster, you can just experiment with that also. It's up to you. Okay, now is the time to actually develop the plugin. Okay, so what you have to do? First step is to create your Go project. Second step is to write the plugin code. I'll show you that shortly. Third is to build the plugin or build the binary or executable binary if you want to say it more clearly. Then fourth step is to make the plugin discoverable by the Kubectl plugin. So let's go step by step and I will show the entire process very clearly in simple way. Follow along. Okay. So let's go to the coding screen. Now let's try to understand the basic Kubernetes plugin development code. Okay. So this in the main.go file, we have the code, and as I say, Cobra command already covered in the day 6. You just follow along that one. Now, what you're doing here, you're using Cobra command to build the command. Okay, fill the data for the build command structure, or the data structure of the command is use the how the plugin you're going to utilize, then short and to give the short description of the command that you are creating. Then in the run section we have the actual logic. Okay, first you are referring to the command, that is a Cobra command, an argument to the actual argument that is supplied to this particular command. Okay, one thing you see here, the namespace is a kind of additional flag that you are getting here. You can see root command dot flags, then string var p namespace. You are getting that namespace, that variable from us as a flag. Okay, now let's go down. You can see the config flags, that is generic CLI options dot new config flags to see to get the config of the Kubernetes. Then config is equal to config flags dot to rest config, checking that is accessible or not. Okay, if any error, it will say error getting the Kubernetes config. Okay, then you are creating the client set. How? So client set equals to the Kubernetes dot new for config, then the config you get here in this step. Okay, then if any error as a using Kubernetes client via the command line, then it will say creating error creating the Kubernetes client. Okay, the final step to get the pod data is using the client set that you get from the new config. Okay, client set dot code v1 dot pod and the namespace. Again, namespace we got from where? We got from a flag. Then dot list, then we from the context of to do we get the data, and then we pass the meta v1 dot list option. Okay, all this to get the pods data or say pod list data. Okay, then if any error, it's a error listing pods. If all good, we go to the final step where we fetch the pod data and like we loop through all the pod list and we print into the screen or say in the CLI output or standard output using range and pods.item, and the loop we say format dot println pod dot name. So it simply lists the pods. Okay, now what are the steps to actually build this particular CLI and make sure the kubectl command recognize this particular plugin or say extra parameter. Okay, so let's see that. Go to the readme.md file and you will follow the step. Second is like write your plugin code, which you already have done. Then the third step is to build the plugin. How? So run go build dash o, that is the output, and the name should be kubectl my plugin. Okay, so just build it, just run, and it will take some time, and after that the build will be done. So just wait for that, and the build is done. You see the file got created, kubectl my plugin. Then to make the plugin discoverable, okay, to make the plugin discoverable, we have to run what? We have to move this particular plugin to the user local bean, or you can add in the main environment path. Okay, it's optional. Easier way is to actually move to this user local bean path. This will be easy to make it available. Important part here, if you see the plugin name, you see at the beginning we are mentioning what? kubectl and then dash. If you don't mention this, then kubectl plugin will be not a kubectl command will not be able to recognize this as a kubectl plugin. Very important, note that point. Okay, so we are moving this kubectl my plugin, that particular binary that we have developed or you have built here, to the slash user local bean. Okay, let's do that first, of course. So run, and you might need sudo because it's a kind of protected path. It is moved. Then the final step is to use your plugin. How? See, we are running kubectl, then you don't need this kubectl dash command. No, just need the my plugin part, because kubectl automatically detect that part. Okay, so kubectl, then the plugin name, which is the my plugin. It could be any plugin name that you supply. Okay, it's not a problem. Then dash dash namespace, then the my namespace. Now for me, I can give any namespace, but if you don't give any namespace, it will take the default. Okay, so just let's do that. And because I use the default namespace, so let's go the default and see it will list what this nginx pod. And I actually did what I run kubectl, then apply dash f, and this is the sample nginx pod that I have configured. Simply running the nginx pod just to test out this, and then give the example. If you want to test it out in the in a minikube environment, just apply it. Since no change, nothing will happen. But for you can just it will be not there initially, right? It will get created, and then it will list out the nginx pod part. So this is how easy it is to actually create a kubectl plugin. Okay, and I will highly recommend. This is okay. This is a very basic basic kind of plugin, but in the future I have very good plans to develop complicated and actually useful plugins, which will of course develop as a kind of a group. So you guys will be also contribute to that, and that way we can make an open source contribution also. And that video will be actually to how you can contribute to open source project meaningful way. Okay, don't spam or something like that. Actual useful thing will develop, which will be available to for other to use. Okay, now any question related to this plugin development, feel free to let me know in the comment section, and I will definitely reply to that and make clarification videos if required. And this is just a start. We're going to achieve very great things if you learn this basic kind of development, and make sure this documentation, because you normally don't know what is this client side.code1, how to call the APIs, right? So the documentation link that I supply, or you just Google about it, just follow along, learn about that first to actually jump into this plugin development. It is good to know how to develop the kubectl plugins or Kubernetes plugins, but first you should know how, like, basic documentation first. Okay, just go to Google and search about Kubernetes plugin development. Okay, documentation is your best friend. There is no alternative to it. Always follow documentation. Okay, and if you go to this Kubernetes official documentation, you'll find like everything all about it. Okay, and of course before in the Google searching screen, you see first there is a Kubernetes plugin manager crew. There also you'll find all the kind of best practices, sample CLI plugin and everything. Okay, if you want to get started, this is also a good place, but I will personally prefer to go with the official kubectl plugin development page. Okay, there. So basically, I mean, we are developing the Kubernetes this kubectl plugin via Go language, but if you want, you can also develop with the normal say shell script also. Okay, you can make this executable, but that is like smaller and okay, all is fine. But if you want to develop very complex plugin, then this kind of script will be a hell. I can guarantee that part. Okay, so if you ask me, and if you even see the Kubernetes official this, and if you go to the best practices, if you just go with the say best practices, yeah, this one, plugin development best practices, it will say use the Go SDK and develop it. Okay, and that is the thing that I also suggest. Okay, but anyway, this is this links this plugin manager, this crew document, this recommendation site, and this official Kubernetes plugin development links I will mention in the description section and in the comment section. You can follow along or you can Google about it. Okay, so just any doubt, you can always come to this page and find the documentation there. Okay, thanks for watching the video till the end. If you like this video, give it a like, and share this video with others so that they also learn how to develop the Kubernetes plugins using GoLang. And looking forward to see you all guys in my next video. Bye bye. Have a nice day.